More than 220,000 Indonesians, which is Indonesia is the world's biggest Muslim populated country, wish to take a part in Hajj pilgrimage in 2020. Even though Hajj pilgrimage is kind of crucial for Muslims to do, but however, by this year, government has cancelled the 2020 Hajj pilgrimage. It is devastating, but however, there are reasons to explain that. And therefore, in the first graphic, I would like to tell you about the reasons why the government wants to cancel this 2020 Hajj pilgrimage. Let's see it through the next graphic. Here it is. We can see reason behind 2020 Hajj cancellations. First of all, it is about the pilgrim safety concerns over the coronavirus pandemic. And it's not only coronavirus pandemic. And previously, there have been like the outbreaks of meningococcal disease, gastrointestinal illness, and also pneumonia and flu. And it sometimes falls in the flu seasons when the Hajj year would be. And the second is that Saudi Arabia authorities failed to provide certainty. And as we know, for your information, Saudi Arabia has urged Muslims to delay their plans to Hajj amidst the speculations of the obligatory pilgrimage that may be cancelled this year due to the coronavirus. And even earlier this year, that the Saudi authorities has halted travel to holy sites part of the Umrah. And we take the data from the Ministry Religious Affairs. And however, the main reason of these cancellations, despite all the reasons that has been elaborated, is more to the coronavirus pandemic that's spreading all over the world. Well, actually, these cancellations of 2020 Hajj pilgrimage is based on the decree from the ministerial decree on the religious affair number 494 of 2020. Here we are having the part of elaborating some essential points for you. Let's see it through the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see the essential points of the Religious Affairs Ministerial Decree number 494/2020 about the Hajj cancellations. First of all, regular and special Hajj pilgrim who have paid off their Hajj costs, which called in Indonesia as BP, to the Hajj operator this year will be automatically qualify and depart as the pilgrims for the next year's Hajj. So it's more like the allocations of the Hajj itself. And the second is that Hajj Fund Management Agency, or BPKH in Indonesia, will keep and manage this year's BP payment. And then the BKPH will give the entire benefits for BP deposit management to the pilgrim as the next year's pilgrimage no later than 30 days before the departure of its pilgrim group in 2021. And the Hajj pilgrims can withdraw funds from the BP payments. And this cancellations marks the first time that Indonesian Muslim will be not performing Hajj since 1946 to 1948 when the country was fighting Dutch colonization after claiming its independence in 1945. And then it's a natural thing that if we see there is a good thing and a bad thing in the one story. And for sure, for the good thing is, by cancellations Hajj this year, it means that we protect our citizens for having the contagions of the coronavirus pandemic. But however, the bad side is, through the decree, there are so many parties that will be hurted by this. And therefore, in the next graphic, I would like to elaborate you what are actually the most part that heavily impacted by this decree. Here it is through the next graphic. We can see the heavily impacted parties of 2020 Hajj cancellations. First of all, of course, the prospective pilgrims that have waited for the Hajj quota to be barred off. And the second thing is about airlines to fly Indonesian pilgrims. And I would like to tell you about the airlines designated the government to fly Indonesians Hajj pilgrim, such as Garuda Indonesia, Saudi Arabia Airlines, Citylink, and Flynest. And based on 2019 financial statement, even Garuda's revenue from the service reaches 234 million US dollar, or about 3.4 trillion rupiah. And then the third one is that the Hajj travel agencies. The Secretary General of Associations of Indonesia Hajj and Umrah Organizer revealed that the travel agencies suffered up to 1 trillion rupiah because of the Umrah cancellations. And how about the loss of Hajj cancellations? It's probably higher since it is more costly than Umrah. And considering that regular Hajj quota is about 200,000 people, the cost would be hurted by 10 trillion rupiah. And of course, there are many parties that got hurt by this decree, but however, it is government willingness to protect the citizens over the contagions of coronavirus pandemic. But however, it is such a heartbreaking news for Indonesians because we are the world's largest Muslim populated country in the world. And how about if the Saudi Arabians try to open a path to allow Indonesians to have Hajj pilgrimage, it would be 200,000 Indonesians that will be doing the pilgrimage itself. So therefore, in the next graphic, I would like to tell you the details about how many actually Indonesians that flock into the pilgrimage years by years. Here it is. We can see it through the next data. Here it is. We just gathered and compiled to you the Indonesians Hajj pilgrimage data from 2015. And the trend is increasing as years by years. In 2015, for example, it was only like 155,000 people, and it went up significantly to be in 2017 to be 203,000 people. Meanwhile, in 2019, which is the previous year, the number hit 231,000 people. And the data we gathered is from reliable sources, which is the Ministry of the Religious Affairs. And being the largest Muslim country in the 220 million people that are Muslim, it is devastating. It is a devastating news that we cancel the 2020 Hajj pilgrimage. But however, if we speak domestically, yes, we are devastating. But when we talk about Saudi Arabia's conditions right now, the economic loss that the country has suffered is a lot. Because basically, if we can see how Saudi Arabia's state income mainly contributed, it's from two sectors, which is the oil price, and then the second one is through the Hajj and pilgrimage. And therefore, in the next graphic, I would like to elaborate you the sheet and data about the pilgrimage and Umrah in Saudi Arabia's contributions to the economy. Here it is, Hajj and Umrah pilgrimage seat facts. Through the graphic, we can see that 12 billion US dollar a year to Saudi's GDP, this is a highly contributed for Saudi's GDP. And through this 12 billion a year, it means that it is 7% of Saudi's GDP. And also, if we talk about the non-oil GDP as a whole, is 20% of Saudi's non-oil GDP. And the Hajj industry is probably one of Saudi Arabia's most valuable treasures due to its money generated from Mecca and Medina and the wider Hajj logistical train. And according to the Mecca Chamber of Commerce and the Industry, 25% or 30% of private sector's income in the region around Mecca and Medina depends on the pilgrimage. And according to the National Real Estate Committee, the Council of Saudi Chambers, Hajj and Umrah are expected to generate about 150 billion US dollar income in the country for the next over 5 years, and creating further 100,000 permanent Hajj-related jobs. And the kingdom plans to set up specialized research centers to develop a Hajj economic index. But since the coronavirus is hanging around the world, it is kind of tricky to Saudi government to achieve thus goals and also the target, because yes, Saudi Arabia is projected to have a deficit for more than 50 billion US dollars, and it means that it will hit 6.4% of its GDP. And viewers, we hope nothing but the best for Hajj pilgrimage by next year, because we have a big chance on next year. And therefore, stay tuned to market headlines, because we will be right back after the break.